Imagine discovering that the biggest reason most students fail exams is not because they lack intelligence, motivation, or even enough study time, but because they try to accomplish far too much every single day. That sounds backward, yet countless learners unknowingly trap themselves by creating impossible schedules packed with endless chapters, dozens of practice questions, and unrealistic expectations. The result is predictable. They become overwhelmed before real progress even begins. But what if the secret to steady improvement was actually doing less on purpose? Not less effort, but fewer priorities. This simple shift has helped many people replace stress with momentum, and by the end of this journey you will understand why 3 carefully chosen tasks can outperform an exhausting list of 20. Your brain naturally resists uncertainty, and an overloaded plan creates more decisions than actual learning. Every unfinished item quietly whispers that you are falling behind, increasing anxiety until opening your books feels emotionally heavy. Instead of building confidence, oversized to-do lists slowly convince you that success is slipping away. The daily 3 tasks method interrupts this cycle by asking one powerful question each morning. If you could complete only 3 meaningful actions today, which ones would create the greatest impact on your exam results? Notice that the focus is not on being busy, it is on being effective. One task might be mastering a difficult concept that has confused you for weeks. Another could involve solving 20 challenging practice questions without checking the charms, answers too early. The third might be reviewing yesterday's mistakes until every error becomes a lesson instead of a repeated habit. These are not random activities. They are carefully selected moves that push your preparation forward. Even if the rest of the day becomes unpredictable, something remarkable happens when your mind sees only 3 important objectives. Instead of feeling trapped beneath an endless mountain, it begins to believe success is achievable. That belief matters more than most people realize, because confidence changes behavior. When a goal feels possible, you start faster, concentrate longer, and recover more easily from distractions. Small victories generate motivation, while impossible expectations destroy it. Many students mistakenly wait until they feel motivated before studying. Yet motivation often appears after meaningful progress, not before it. Completing your first important task creates evidence that you are capable. Finishing the second builds momentum. Crossing off the third transforms an ordinary day into undeniable proof that you moved closer to your exam goal. Here is where the story becomes even more interesting, because choosing the right 3 tasks is far more important than simply choosing any 3. There is a hidden principle behind this method that separates average results from extraordinary improvement. And once you recognize it, your entire approach to studying may change forever. The hidden principle is surprisingly simple, yet it changes everything because it forces you to separate activity from achievement. Many students spend hours highlighting pages, organizing notes, or rereading familiar chapters because those tasks feel comfortable. Comfort creates the illusion of productivity, but exams reward understanding, recall, and application instead. That is why your daily 3 tasks should always include actions that stretch your ability, rather than protect it. Before writing your list each morning, pause for a moment and ask yourself which 3 actions would make tomorrow's version of you noticeably stronger than today's. That question shifts your attention away from checking boxes and toward building genuine capability. Imagine 2 students preparing for the same exam. One proudly completes 15 small tasks, jumping from topic to topic without real depth. The other chooses only 3 demanding priorities, fully learns one difficult concept, solves a challenging set of problems, and carefully reviews every mistake. At the end of the day, the first student feels busy, while the second becomes better. The difference may seem small at first, but repeated over weeks it creates a dramatic gap in confidence, knowledge, and performance. Another powerful advantage of this method is that it protects your mental energy. Every decision consumes attention, and endless choices quietly drain the focus you need for deep learning. By limiting yourself to 3 essential objectives, you eliminate unnecessary mental clutter and give your brain permission to concentrate completely. Instead of constantly wondering what to study next, you already know the answer. That clarity reduces procrastination, because beginning no longer feels confusing. Once you start, staying engaged becomes much easier. and each completed task reinforces the habit of consistent action. Of course, unexpected interruptions will happen. Some days family responsibilities appear without warning, technology fails, or exhaustion arrives after a long schedule. Most study plans collapse under those conditions because they depend on perfect circumstances. The daily 3 tasks method is different because it expects real life to happen. Even if your day becomes chaotic, completing those 3 priorities still means you protected meaningful progress. Rather than ending the evening with guilt over everything left unfinished, you finish with evidence that the most important work was accomplished. That emotional difference is enormous because it encourages you to return tomorrow instead of giving up. Consistency always defeats occasional bursts of perfection. Think of each day as placing one solid brick instead of trying to build the entire house before sunset. Individual bricks may not seem impressive, but a carefully placed brick every single day eventually becomes a strong foundation that can support remarkable success. As your exam approaches, you will notice something unexpected. While others panic because they are desperately trying to cover everything at once, you remain calmer because your preparation has been built deliberately, one meaningful day after another. That quiet confidence is not luck or natural talent. It is the predictable result of choosing the right priorities repeatedly. And the final lesson reveals why this simple habit transforms not only exam scores, but also the way you approach every ambitious goal in life. The greatest strength of the daily 3 tasks method is that it quietly reshapes your identity. Instead of seeing yourself as someone who constantly struggles to keep up, you begin thinking like a person who finishes what truly matters. That change is far more valuable than any single study technique, because your daily actions always follow the story you believe about yourself. Every completed priority becomes another piece of evidence that you are disciplined, capable, and moving forward, even when progress feels slow. Over time, this mindset replaces fear with confidence, because you no longer measure success by how much you attempted. You measure it by how much meaningful work you actually completed. This approach also teaches an important lesson that extends far beyond exams. Life will always offer more opportunities, responsibilities, and distractions than anyone can handle. Trying to do everything often means accomplishing very little, while choosing a few meaningful priorities creates lasting results. Imagine carrying a magnifying glass under the sun. When the light is scattered, nothing changes. When the same light is focused on one small point, it becomes powerful enough to create fire. Your attention works the same way. Focus gives ordinary effort extraordinary strength. That is why simplifying your daily priorities is not limiting your potential. It is unlocking it. As exam day finally arrives, you will likely notice something different about yourself. Instead of desperately trying to remember everything from months of rushed studying, your mind recalls concepts that have been strengthened through consistent practice. You recognize familiar question patterns because you invested time solving meaningful problems instead of simply reading about them. Even if you encounter a difficult question, you stay calmer because your preparation was built on understanding rather than panic. Confidence earned through steady action is remarkably resilient under pressure. There will always be students searching for complicated systems, expensive shortcuts, or magical productivity hacks, believing success must be hidden inside something complex. Yet the truth is often surprisingly simple. Decide what matters most. Commit to those priorities completely. Repeat the process tomorrow. Small decisions, made consistently, eventually produce extraordinary outcomes that seem impossible to people who only notice the final result. Success rarely arrives through one heroic day. It grows from hundreds of ordinary days, handled with intention. The daily 3 tasks method reminds you that remarkable achievements are usually the accumulation of simple choices, repeated with patience and purpose. If you embrace this habit, your next exam may not only become an opportunity to earn a higher score, but also proof that lasting progress comes from clarity, consistency, and focused effort rather than constant busyness. The question is no longer whether you have enough hours available. The real question is whether you are willing to protect the 3 actions that matter most every 20 single day. Your answer to that question could change far more than your next exam. It could change the way you build every future success. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.